Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Michael and I'm back from my 2 weeks off, kind of. I know I still probably posted pickups videos on Saturdays as well as the occasional YouTube short, but the reason why I took the 2 weeks off, I'm pretty sure I would have mentioned it, was after I finally finished working on the big Gears of War video that I posted early on this month. That was 3 hours long. I decided that I needed a break because I spent most of March, well, all of March really working on that. So I didn't really, so all of March I was just working on that and I didn't really focus too much on April. Because most of what I had planned for April was already done. You know, that April Fool's video that was recorded in August. The Doctor Who video was recorded at the end of March. And then that was it. You know, now it's this. I'm recording this on the 2nd of April. So, yeah, the entirety of March essentially was me taking a break. And so I'm back now with my review of Jim Carrey's The Mask, one of my favorite films that I remember watching as a kid. I can't remember exactly what age, but I do remember watching it on VHS on repeat with my cousin. I forget if we rented it or owned it, but or rented it and never returned it. But it was definitely one that I loved watching and I would laugh the entire time. Yes, there were some bits that I probably didn't understand as a kid. The whole scene with the when he's the mask is making the balloon animals and he accidentally pulls out a used condom. I didn't understand that as a kid. Now I definitely do. But yeah, I remember this being like one of my favorite Jim Carrey films because the ones that I definitely grew up on the most as a kid for like Jim Carrey was The Mask and I believe Liar Liar, and there was another one that it's escaping me at the moment. Um, but you know, it was mainly just The Mask and Liar Liar that I remember fondly growing up from watching. Oh, Bruce Almighty. Bruce Almighty was the other one. Yeah, those are the three Jim Carrey films that I grew up on rewatching the most as a kid. And 1994, 30 years ago, was it was a big break for Jim Carrey. He did three amazing movies back to back. I don't think two of those movies are all that great, but art is subjective, as I've coined from AJ over AJ's Movie Place. Those three movies were Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, Dumb and Dumber, and then The Mask. And I remember as well, Jim Carrey saying in an interview, I believe it's on Graham Norton, about how he wrote himself a check for it was either a million or 10 million, and he kept it in his wallet and gave himself a year to earn that much. And then just before that year ran up, that's when he either got Ace Ventura or Dumb and Dumber. I forget which, because it's been a while since I seen that. But yeah, Jim Carrey, obviously fantastic in this. I take this with a grain of salt. I did read on the IMDb that they saved a lot of money on special effects for this film because of just how animated Jim Carrey is. So I do see that. Obviously Jim Carrey is animated. He's that type of comic. From doing this Ace Ventura, especially in Ace Ventura and Dumb and Dumber, as well as his other, the other films that, like I said, that I grew up on watching, Liar Liar, Bruce Almighty, and all of that. He's definitely a very animated person when it comes to comedy. Even in the Sonic the Hedgehog films, I've only seen the first one so far, but I have seen clips of two, and he's definitely like really animated in that. But that's what I love about Jim Carrey. Cameron Diaz is there. Doesn't have too much really to say. She is the love interest to Jim Carrey's character Stanley Ipkiss. The actor who plays Dorian, whose name is escaping me. I just remember the the main villain's name. was also in the same year that this was released in Tarantino's Pulp Fiction, which I did a review of last year as a first time watch. So go check that out if you want to see what my thoughts are on that one. But yeah, it still holds up. You know, after 30 years, it still holds up, and I would definitely say it is one of Jim Carrey's best performances. Um, and you know, as the tagline on the Blu-ray says, from zero to hero, because that's literally what happens with Jim Carrey throughout the entire process of the movie for Stanley. You know, he starts off as this nice guy that always finished last, that lets people walk all over him, doesn't have the balls to stand up for himself. Then once he finds the mask, which was got to do with Norse mythology of Loki and Odin. As soon as he puts that on, um, as he says, you know, it brings out your strong desires, and it definitely changed Stanley as a person to the point where he ends up with Cameron Diaz's character without needing the mask. Hence why he throws it away. Now I can't remember if I mentioned it. This is my second time filming this review. That I am aware that the mask is based off of a comic. But as well, after this came out, it also then became a Saturday morning cartoon with some toys released for it as well. But I've never seen it. I've seen clips of it, but I've never seen like a full episode of it because they just weren't on reruns when I was growing up in the early 2000s. But it's definitely one of my favorite films that I love to come back to every now and again. The same with Bruce Almighty, the same with Liar Liar. Those to me are probably my three. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say top three because definitely my top five. Def, Definitely my top five because you know my favorite Jim Carrey film is The Truman Show, followed by Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Two films that I have already reviewed on the channel. But that is going to wrap this video up. So obviously the poll for the what classic Doctor Who episode for me to review next has gone live at as of midnight, and it runs for however long it states. I can't remember off the top of my head. But then after that gets released, you know, on Friday, for May, I've decided to do another trilogy month. So tomorrow, well, not tomorrow, on the first, on Wednesday, the first of May, I will do old classic scissor reel that I used to do to show off what of the four trilogies that I'm going to be reviewing for the month of May. That means I will be going back to my old upload schedule where the Monday you'll get the first film, Wednesday you'll get the third film, and then Friday you'll get the last film in said trilogy. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I shall see you on Wednesday for that scissor reel, but also on Friday for the classic Doctor Who video, and then I shall see you next Monday for the start of the of May's trilogy month. I'll see you all next time.